Everyone, here's a quick updated video on how to use Evadus Core, the AI overlay for cheating. Alright, so the first thing you do is you come to our website over here, evadus.wtf, and then you download. As soon as you've run through the setup, you'll see this window. All you have to do is sign in. And it's super easy. It doesn't require any setup whatsoever. You just press start overlay, and there we go. Now, please note that this is a demo version, meaning that it can be screen recorded. The one that you get, that you download from our website, cannot be screen recorded. Let's first go through some in-app settings. Firstly, you can customize your hotkeys to whatever you want to use. Secondly, you can choose your own AI models. By default, it's going to be set to Gemini 2.5 Pro because it has a very good balance of everything, but you can change it based on your needs. So GPT-4o is pretty terrible at everything, if I'm being completely honest. Grok 4 is very good if you don't mind it being slow, you just want it to be really smart. And Claude 3.7 Sonnet is pretty good, but I recommend sticking to Gemini 2.5 Pro. And this is by far the favorite feature for the community. It is to be able to give your own prompt. As you can see also here, we have a bunch of presets that you can choose from, and you can also edit them, make them your own, and save them. So you can pretty much hot switch between them whenever you would like. This is the default one. We're gonna stick with this one for now. And this is the rapid fire thoughts prompt, which you can also customize if you don't like the responses that you're getting. I recommend changing either of these when you realize that the responses you're getting is not really what you want. You can also change your server location if you notice that your responses are pretty slow. Now, obviously the first thing that's slowing you down is probably your Wi-Fi, but if your Wi-Fi is pretty fast and you're still noticing slow responses, you can change your server location. So as you can see, I'm pretty much in the middle of nowhere on the tip of Africa. It's still the Paris server gets me very, very good response times. The US server as well. However, the Tokyo server gets me piss awful response times. Hence why I usually stick to the USA or Paris server. I'm going to go ahead and press start overlay. Then I'll hide it and press run in background to run the main app in the background. And you'll notice it disappears from the taskbar. There we go. And then I'll press Shift Alt and H to bring it back. And there we go. First feature I'm sure you're worried about is the name of the app. But don't worry, we're not stupid like other people. We don't call our app evadus.exe. We hide it with a legitimate sounding name. For example, the version that I installed is called Partition Balancer Router. It looks just like a system app. It blends in fantastically. Also, the only people in the industry doing this. Second important feature, which I know a lot of people are smartening up about these days, is the window focus detection method. Now, instead of trying to explain it, I'm just going to show you. Essentially, what it does is this. Let's say this window has focus. Now, if you press anywhere else that isn't in this window, it will lose focus. So if I press my taskbar, notice it says focus lost. However, if you just keep clicking inside this window, it never loses focus. However, as soon as you click outside this box or outside the window, it loses focus. However, with our app, if I overlay it like this, you see that I can still use my cursor and it doesn't lose focus ever. That's because we allow clicks to pass through our window, meaning that you have to use keyboard shortcuts to use it. The next thing that I'm sure you're worried about is the actual keyboard shortcuts. Can't they see those? Can't they detect it somehow? The answer is yes, but not ours. And once again, instead of explaining it, I'll just show you. So this is what we call a keyboard event viewer or a keystroke logger. Essentially what it does is it logs all the keystrokes that you press. You can see here, I'm just pressing some random WASD keys and it logs absolutely everything. So first example, you can see here we have a full screen screenshot hotkey. I'm gonna press that Ctrl-Shift-D, takes a screenshot and nothing gets shown here. And just to show, it is active. It just doesn't see anything. How about the mark point screenshot? We'll press Ctrl-Shift-and-C there, Ctrl-Shift-and-C there, and you see there's a screenshot. And then Ctrl-Shift-Q to get an answer based on those two screenshots. And then you see there immediately it starts streaming rapid fire thoughts and then it generates an answer for us. And then obviously you can scroll the content of the main answer and as well as the rapid fire thoughts using these keys. We'll quickly go through these controls. Obviously you can show and hide it like that. You can toggle the bundle or you can toggle the rapid fire thoughts section like that. You can also move it around quite easily. You can toggle the transparency, make it minimum, make it maximum, whatever you want, whatever your preference is. And obviously toggle the control section. You can scroll the content of the main answer and also the rapid fire thoughts. The rapid fire thoughts aren't long enough now to scroll, but you can. You obviously have the full screen screenshot feature that looks like that and the mark point system that lets you take screenshots of certain parts of your screen. Then you can obviously remove things from the bundle using that hotkey. And then to bring the app back from the background, you can press Ctrl-Shift-F7 like that. And then second to last feature, which is pretty important, is the paraphrasing feature. So a lot of you guys write on tests that aren't coding tests like marketing or physics questions, and they use AI detectors on your tests like Turnitin. AI detectors are notoriously unreliable, but these universities still use them, but we found a way to circumvent it. So all you click is the paraphrase hotkey, which is Ctrl-Shift and P. So I press that, it paraphrases, and then it rewrites the entire previous answer in a way that an AI detector cannot detect it, which is incredible. You can paraphrase the same thing up to 5 times and it preserves coding. If you do coding, it also preserves your coding. It doesn't mess with the code at all. So here's how it actually works in practice. I'm going to switch to Claude for this one. I'm going to switch to the coding interview preset and I'm going to add a line that asks it to comment every single line of code. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with the rapid fire thoughts. So we'll start it again, run in the background. I'm actually gonna toggle the bundle because I know what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna take a screenshot here, Control-Shift-D, scroll down a little bit to get this question as well, Control-Shift-D. And you'll see in the bundle, it is there. Then I'm gonna press Control-Shift and Q to get an answer. And as you can see, I'm not gonna make a cut, by the way. You'll see the rapid fire thoughts are just genuinely that quick. And Claude 3.7 Sonnet is also super quick. So you can see it did do what we asked it to do. It did comment every single line of code. And in the rapid fire thoughts here, you can see it did give a very, very thorough plan of attack with the 2 different strategies being the brute force and the hash map. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds way too good to be true. This is probably a scam. This is probably a honeypot or whatever. And I promise you it's not. It's not super expensive. It's not a scam. You can check it out for yourself. We have users that make videos using our tool on different websites. We have HackerRank, HackerEarth. We have so many different ones. So you can see that it does genuinely work on every single platform. It's also not expensive at all. And it's not like a subscription where you have to pay for a month up front and then you end up not using it at all and you still have to pay all that money. It's pay per use, so you only pay for the credits that you actually use. And you can start for as cheap as 10 bucks. Now I know that some of you don't have the money for that, which is why we made a free version as well. It's not nearly as good. It doesn't pass a focus test. It doesn't have audio input. It's not as good, however, it is completely free. This is getting its own tutorial video in a couple of days. I'm just telling you guys about it now if you want to use it. A lot of people actually charge you for something like this. I know something like Float Browser, they charge you for things like this, which I think is ridiculous. So I made one, I made it better, and I made it completely for free. So I'm going to be making a tutorial video on this in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that. But you can use it all. As always, Evadus.wtf, join our Discord server. It's very active, new tips coming out every single day, other users helping everyone out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.